Hello everyone, my name is Dhruv Upadhyay, third year student of Bennett University, Greater Noida. Today I will be presenting a seminar on the topic Cyberterrorism. We all know what is terrorism, but cyberterrorism is a new and a far more dangerous concept for all of us. Cyber means digital, so it basically means terrorism via digital forms. The content of this slides are this introduction, cyber terrorism, common attack, examples, blackout day, traditional terrorism, effect in future, need to do prevention and protection, and the conclusion. So let me introduce you this topic. As the use of internet is increasing day by day, traditional concepts and methods of terrorism have changed drastically. They have taken new dimensions. Individuals or groups can use the anonymity offered by the internet to threaten citizens, specific groups, specific companies, or even specific countries. So, what is cyberterrorism? Cyberterrorism is a phrase used to describe the use of internet based attacks in terrorist activities, including acts of deliberate large scale disruption of computer networks, especially of personal computers attached to internet, by the means of tools such as computer virus or computer worms, etc. Features of cyberterrorism. So there are basically five features that we use to define cyberterrorism. First is difficulty identifying attackers. It remains difficult to determine the identity of the initiators of most cyber attacks. Lack of boundaries. Attacks can originate from anywhere in the world and from multiple locations simultaneously. Speed of development. The time between discovery of a new vulnerability and the emergence of a new tool or technique that exploits the vulnerability is getting shorter. Low cost of tools. The technology employed in attacks is simple to use, not very expensive, and widely available. Automated methods. The methods of attacks have become automated and more sophisticated, resulting in greater damage from a single attack. Examples: hacking into computer systems, introducing viruses to vulnerable networks, website defacing, or you can say image defacing, denial of service attacks, DOS attacks, terrorist threats made via email, or maybe some anonymous calls. So, how does cyberterrorism works? It basically uses four types of uh, tools, so by which we can make define cyberterrorism. First is hacking. Hacking is to gain access to a computer file or a network illegally without authorization. Then misinformation. To provide with incorrect information to the mass media or to general public. The misinformation can be a very powerful tool. Virus. A computer program that duplicates itself in a manner that is harmful to most computer use. Most viruses work by attaching themselves to another program. The amount of damage varies. Viruses may erase all data or do nothing but reproduce themselves and eat space. A worm. Worm is similar to virus, but it is a malicious program that replicates itself until it fills all of the storage space on a drive or a network. So, who partakes in the act of cyberterrorism? Basically, terrorists. Anyone who terrorizes by using violence, threats, coercion, and intimidation to instill fear and gain submission. That is basic terrorist. But a cyber terrorist can also be called a hacker, a black hacker. A person skilled in information technology who uses their technical knowledge to achieve a goal or overcome an obstacle within a computerized system by non standard means. Basically, a hacker can destroy anything related on the internet. Anything. Three most common attack methods: IP spoofing, password cracking, and denial of service or DOS attacks. So, IP spoofing. IP spoofing refers to creation of IP packets with forged source IP address with the purpose of concealing the identity of the sender. It is mostly used in DOS attacks, most effective in corporate networks where users can log in without a username or a password. So, password cracking, or it can also be called brute force method. Password cracking can be implemented using brute force attacks, Trojan horse programs, and IP spoofing can be used. Password attacks usually refer to repeated attempts to identify a user account and or password. These repeated attempts are called brute force attacks. One example is weak encryption LM hash used by Microsoft Windows XP can easily be attacked. Denial of service or DOS attacks. Denial of service attacks focus on making a service unavailable to intended users. There are two forms of DOS attacks, those that crash services and those that flood services. One common attack method involves saturating the target machine with communication requests such as uh, cannot respond to the traffic. Cost and means of attack. So this is a graph, and as we can see, as the time passes after World War II, the cost of capability is drastically decreasing. And as we are in the digital age now, computers are increasing, and hence cost of capability is increasing. We can do so much more with computers than physical act of terrorism. This reduces the risk for attacker and increases the severity of a defender or a victim. In future, this gap will further keep on increasing and cyber terrorism will surpass all physical forms of violence. Some examples of cyber terrorism attack. The 9/11 attack, Ahmedabad bomb blast attacks, and 26/11 Mumbai attacks. So in 9/11 Twin Towers attack, which was conducted by Al Qaeda, an Al Qaeda laptop was found in Afghanistan, which contained all the information about the various towers in United States, entry, flight details, everything. It had hits on website that contained sabotage handbook. Al Qaeda actively researched publicly available information concerning critical infrastructure posted in websites. Then Ahmedabad bomb blast attacks of 2008. A mail with ID al-Arabi_Gujarat at yahoo.com was being sent by a group of terrorists. Terrorists used this ID to communicate to each other. A person named Kenneth Hayward's unsecured Wi-Fi router in his house was being misused by terrorists. Three more mails were sent after the blast with the same misuse of unsecured Wi-Fi routers. The 26/11 Mumbai attacks. Terrorists communicated with handlers in Pakistan through call phone X using VoIP or Voice over Internet Protocol. The accused communicated to terrorists with an email ID kharak_telco at yahoo.com, which was accessed from 10 different IP addresses ranging from Pakistan to India. Another example is Northeast Blackout 2003. This is called one of the biggest cyber attack in the history. It had widespread power outage throughout northeastern and midwestern United States and in some parts of Canada on 14th August 2003. Full power was restored after 7 hours. In New York City, the full power came back on 16th August 2003 after almost 2 days. It affected more than 45 million people in 8 US states. The proximate cause was a software virus allegedly planted by Russian hackers in an alarm system of First Energy, an electric company which was designated to protect and manage the power grids in the province. And cyberterrorism in India. ECIL, or Electronic Corporation of India Limited, which controls Parliamentary Security System nuclear plants, was hacked by Frozen Mist. Frozen Mist is an unknown hacker who also hacked Australian broadcasting companies to gain notoriety. Frozen Mist stole sensitive information from ECIL and it uploaded them online. The information basically contained the information regarding India's space program and missile program. It had communication between ECIL and ISRO. Cyberterrorism against traditional terrorism. In the future, cyberterrorism may become more feasible option to traditional physical acts of violence due to perceived anonymity. It had Cyberterrorism has very low risk of detection. It You do not need to invest much anything. Operate from nearly any location. You can operate any location. You can use bombs remotely. You can trigger a bomb in United States while sitting in the Middle East. Very few resources are needed. How does cyberterrorism affect us? Air traffic. Air traffic controls our tower to airline infrastructure, and that could be hacked into, which could uh, result in catastrophic results. Banking systems. Banking systems could be violated, and all of our money could be stolen. Bombs. Explosives could be set off remotely very easily, and hence we took. It is very difficult to find the culprit. Hospitals. Hospitals could leak very sensitive health information regarding the people. Government. It could destroy a government. It could leak their secret plans and their every other plan and out the you can say it can leak any type of decision they are going to take. Water and electric systems. It could damage our daily life by tampering with water and electric systems, and you basically we could also face what happened in New York in 2003 blackout. So prevention, we can prevent cyber terrorism as ourselves by maintaining high alert and vigilance. We can keep our operating system and applications updated. We have to update them regularly. We have to enforce strong passwords and keep them updated. We can install lockdown systems on our homes or on our laptops. We should install antivirus softwares, employ intrusion detection system and firewalls, be cautious of email attachment and links, and uninstall any unused apps we have on our phones or laptops. So, in conclusion, we can say cyberterrorism is a very scary concept. It can do serious damage to various aspects of our life. It is difficult to catch and persecute. We should protect ourselves as an aware citizens and help government in this cyber battle. So thank you. My name is Dhruv Upadhyay from batch EB13. Thank you.